Okay, so welcome to my blog. This is my blog for this module, CST 1160. It's called MDX CST 1160 Adventure. Okay, in this blog, I will discuss what we did from week 1 to week 24. However, I did not document it in terms of week, but more in terms of topics that we covered from week 1 to 24. So I will start by technically week 1, but as I progress, I will not be using weeks, but more the topics. Okay. So the first one we did was media literacy. It's the first topic that we did, which it's kind of like a brief explanation on the module, on what it is focused, like video editing, image, audio sampling, the ability to look for tools and free software to edit our video for our content, our coursework, our assignment. Then this day in class we had some exercise and tasks. First, the teacher asked us to create a blog to document our journey, which I did. I'm using WordPress to document my journey. Then the teacher asked us to try to change our eye color. There it is. I changed my eye color to green. Then here are some definition of pixel and images, what are RGB colors. Then in class we had a small session on binary, what it is, some conversion. Here is the work. Then I look for some software to try to edit the audio. I use free audio editors. I also search for others like this. And then here it is. Then for the next class we talked a bit more about the blog. I had already created the blog. I started with Blogspot first, but then I changed to WordPress. This was a bit more user friendly and easier. Then the second day we introduced a bit our classmate, the teacher, a bit more about the topic. We talk a bit more about the topic, and about media literacy itself. We talked a bit more about how it affects the world of work, our work, our quality of life, how it affects businesses and everything like this. Then for our next topic we started virtual reality, AR and VR. So this week in class we did AR and VR. We also did how it is applied in the world of work, in video game, in media, in everything like this. Also how it's applied in medicine, in the military, in businesses. We also watch some videos on how it is a small VR video, an old VR video named Cryoland. After this, the teacher told us to experiment with an avatar, try to create one. So here it is, my attempt at creating one. Then we had our first group presentation on optimal run, which we started last week, but the presentation was this week. And here it is. Here also this week the teacher told us to try to do a storyboard about a short story that we'll do. Here is the short story. Next. The next one the next topic is still AR and VR. So here's a continuation. We looked a bit more at how a virtual classroom is used. We continued with this. Then the teacher asked us to try our hands-on chatbots to see how they interact with humans. They have human-like responses, like here. I used Personality Forge and talk with some chatbots. Here it is. Then we share some research on augmented reality. Then the teacher explained a bit about our coursework on AR and VR. So we had to create a small video on an AR project, something, just some AR with an AR project. I used Leo AR for some testing. I tried something. Here are the links, and my final project was on a mini whale documentation, just to show three kinds of whales, augment them, and what they eat and what's their natural predator. This ends AR and VR for these two topics. Then next week or next topic, we did inputs and output devices. We did a small introduction on input and output definition. We give some example. The teacher gives some example. Output device also some examples and a definition. How they are used, where they are used. Here are some examples also. How they are used in the fields of work, at home. Yeah, everything. Then we did sensors. We have five sensors: touch, sight, smell, hearing, and taste. We we learn how they are used in different parts of life, in businesses, in technology. The touch, robotic arm, sight can be used in VR, smell can be used nowadays. There are even some in developing some screen that you could smell, hearing also, and the taste. Here we continued some explanation. We also did graphical interface. There it is. So our next topic is making technology accessible and inclusive. This is more guided towards people that have disabilities, that can't walk, can't see, can't touch, can't do things like this. In this week's topic, we did how technologies can help these people, how they can interact with others using these technologies. For example, speech recognition for the disabled, smart home devices adaptation for disabled, braille keyboards or keyboard accessibilities for the blind, screen readers, artificial intelligence, things like this. Augmented realities also. We, we also did how they use in school for the disabled also. Then this week we had a homework on accessibility. Here are my homeworks. There it is. Then the next topic that we did was recommender systems. So recommender systems are systems which is a way to gather information about a user pattern. For example, Netflix gathers information about your user by preferences, and they recommend the user certain programs, movie series based on the recommendation they gathered. This week we also did three kind of recommended system: collaborative filtering, content-based filtering, and hybrid approach. We we elaborate on the three of these in class. Then this class itself, we had a small class test about these about recommender system. We did it in class itself. It was a small test, about 20 marks itself. This week or topic. The next one we did was student employability. It's student employability on the basis is how different skills help us in life, for like how we can get jobs with these skills, how they can be used in businesses, how they can help us progress, develop This is what we did this week. Some qualities or skills that we need. Example, skill framework defined by IT professionals. Some of the skills that we need in this domain for IT. We this week we mainly covered this different level of skills that we need. There it is. So the next topic that we had was futurology. Futurology is basically can be defined as predicting alternative future by carefully analysis current and past trend. For example, a technology that we use now, we can try to think in the future how it can be improved, how it can evolve, how it can become something even more usable for the people than now. For example, AI is now just robots, but in the future maybe they can do more than this. Help people maybe do even more than this. So then we have a small class exercise where we had some quotes and we had to guess if it's true or false. Then we had some exercise also about calculation, Moore's laws, and also curves. We also had this some calculation again. Then we had our last assignment for this semester, which was on futurology. The teacher asked us to write a short story on a technology that exists now, but in the future would be improved. So I wrote a short story on uh, a grandma and a robot named Kareem. This robot is an AI that live with this elderly person that we whereby this AI can have the woman see old memories just by displaying this, which we don't have now. We don't have now this kind of technology, but in the future maybe it could display images, even feelings from before, memories, just to cheer up this person. This robot would take care of her, provide medical assistance and everything. This is in brief my short story. Then we had the after holiday, the first day, the teacher gave us feedback on the blog so far about the 14 weeks that we had, technically 14, something like this, that we had, or 12. Well, she gave some feedback, some criticism. She kind of explained a bit more about the blogs, the how it should be done. Well, originally my blog was on Blogspot. It was not the greatest, so after the feedback and everything, I tried to change it and make it a bit more what was expected of me. Then the next topic that we had for the first real topic that we had for the second semester was smarter life or smart systems, basically, which which mainly revolves around how sensors gather information, actuators, output, how they are used in houses, in businesses, in technology. For example, a smart system, sensor, actuator, microprocessor. Then we touch a bit on Arduino since it will be our last and final topic for this year. We touch a bit on Arduino, how they are used, Arduino boards, with Arduino boards, Arduino software. We did a bit more on the blink for Arduino, some basic tests. The teacher explained us some components, potentiometers, for example. We did this, how to upload a code for the Arduino, everything like this. And then this next week we had our first class on Arduino. the teacher explained a bit about Arduino. She also told us that we need to buy the Arduino kit. There it is, a kit to do our final coursework. She explained a bit about how the boards works, the different components. There it is, examples. She has some examples of Arduino. Then she also explained us about our coursework, our final coursework for this year, which we'll have to do a group of 6 to 5 classmates, and then do a project consisting of Arduino components. My team consists of myself, Ismail via Usman, Wamba, and Katlego. Ismail being the team leader, he was appointed as team leader, so he led the team. This week, the teacher talked a bit about our coursework requirement, how it should be done, whatever criteria I'm marking, and how it should be presented on the video, everything like this. Here are some of the criteria for the module handbook that she explained, everything. Good. So then this week we had class, and the teacher explained some basic concept of Arduino. We tried some basic examples like how to use a resistor, how to set it up, lighting up a LED, setting up a buzzer, and finally using a push button in a circuit. This was a 5 basic example that we learned in this class today. Some example that we tried them in class itself to see how it works. Here's examples, some video how it works also, I researched it. Some pictures, there we tried it in class, potentiometer, lighting up a LED, a buzzer, and stuff like this. The next part is more how we started our coursework. Originally, we were just trying to brainstorm idea to see what we could do. So we discussed among ourselves to see what we would do. But at the start, there was no real idea. So we just tried a bit of the component. The leader assigned me to test the ultrasonic sensor, as he thought this might be useful. So here it is. Ultrasonic sensor usually measure the distance and does an action with something. In this case, there is a servo motor attached to it, whereby if you put something in front of the sensor, it will move the motor. Here are some videos of me trying it, photos also. Here it is, trying the ultrasonic sensor with potentiometer also. Then I tried also to do a push button to try to see if it works. Then try the LEDs also. A friend in the group tried the LED. Here the result. He tried to power it on, it worked. After some time, we got familiar with the different component in our box, and so at this point we already had the idea of doing an Arduino shop with different components. And this week we had class online, so we explained the teacher our idea of the shop. She was pleased with it. We have different components of like a servo opening the door, some LEDs, ultrasonic sensor we've attached to a counter that's gonna count how many people enter and how many people exit of this shop. This was a basic idea. The teacher approved the concept, and then she also suggested that we add an elevator just to put a bit more component. So later this day, our friend Via did the counter. Yes, he's attempt of the counter, visit the counter, the video. I was told by our leader to try out to work the LEDs for the decoration, and Usman was tasked with a servo attached to a door. Then later on, the project was slowly but slowly taking shape. I managed to make the LED work. Here it is, some a small video of the LED making a pattern. Here it is. Then the counter that our friend Vias make. Then Osman also managed to make his part work for the servo motor. Here it is. So we decided to link it with Vias part, which is the counter. There it is, the final results. Here it is. Then the leader of Ismail came out with the idea of making an Arduino games, which will be the main focus of the shop. It's single player games like Mario. You can play on the screen with a joystick. Here is how it works. Here it is. And finally we managed to make all the component work. So now until our final day of class. We had class in real time at the university. It was the last day of class. The teacher basically explained a bit about ethics, some how ethics is used in the world of work, how it's used in IT, how it's used generally, a brief concept about ethics. Then she she also verified all our component. She was very satisfied with it. She gave us feedback about it. She was pleased. Here how all the component looks like. Then she also gave some criticism about the counter, which there was a small problem with it, so we had to change it. So Ismail worked on the counter and I was assigned to work on the freezing. So here is the counter, the new counter, and Ismail made it work. And this is the development for the box of our shop. So here it is, the box taking shape, mounting. We had to mount all the different components in this, and this is the final result of the box. Here it is, and this is the final video. And this is the end of our last coursework, our Arduino project. And this is the end of this blog also, which covered basically everything that we did in these 24 weeks. I did not put it at weeks because there was a lot of public holidays and also some sick days where the teacher was not there, so I had to break it down in terms of topics instead of weeks. So here is the end of the blog and also the ends of our last coursework, the Arduino coursework. So here it is.